right with you.
We have nothing to say. Talk to us.
Great.
Where's Alan?
Down.
High school.
Vaguely. Bob number 1, Bob number 2, and Mark. I'm Jerry.
What did you think of working on Saturday night?
We made it through. We survived.
Oh, really? I understand what people thought didn't know what they could do. What a shame.
Well, that's okay.
How did you like being on the Midnight Special with all the disco bands? Or did you like it?
We didn't go on. We only showed a film.
Yeah.
We felt that was a little more safe distance than actually being physically in the same space.
Hula Hoop Girl was good fun.
Yeah, she was.
Possibly the most obscene thing I've seen on television in a long time.
I thought it was pretty funny myself. Are you gonna ever have a Devo school coming out?
We'd love to.
Teach people how to be Devos? Or do you think we all are Devo right now?
Well, we all are Devo. It's just becoming aware of it, pointing it out.
What does Devo stand for?
It's just a contraction from de-evolution. De-evolution? Entropy.
Tell us your theories about de-evolution. What are your theories about de-evolution?
Well, it's no big theory. It's just mental and physical activity. You know, we each do it in our own way. We were all Devo. We had day jobs. I mean, I had to work designing graphics for a janitorial supply house. Let the others tell you what they did.
I worked with radiation physics.
Managed an apartment building.
Pay your rent on time. Wheat man.
Aluminum siding application.
And then we found these yellow suits at MF Murdoch and said, let's form a band.
Is it Bob number 2? Did you do physics?
Pardon me?
Are you a physicist?
Of the sort.
Do you know anything about the second law of thermodynamics? All things go from complex to simple form, of course.
Do you think de-evolution is necessary for Earth's survival? Or do you think we all are Devo, we're going to be Devo, or do you think we should try not to be Devo?
No, that's what people have been doing, is trying not to be Devo. That's how we got to the point we're at. Now it's time to be Devo on purpose, rather than be Devo by default, like, you know, weigh 250 pounds and buy aqua-colored double-knit pantsuits and drive Cordobas.
Sounds pretty Devo to me.
That is Devo. Hello, Devo.
Is Devo a regression
Devo regression?
from man's hardware in development?
Excuse me, can you rephrase the question?
Do you think de-evolution is sort of man going down from his pinnacle of achievement a bit? Losing ground?
Pinnacle.
Worse than
Well, I mean, we questioned the whole idea of progress to begin with. And then
You put apes at the pinnacle.
Right.
You're heading back, is that it then?
I think we're all going down again.
Yeah.
look at the
different.
bottom.
Forward into the past.
No, there isn't. I mean, language is unfortunately, you know, deceptive at best. But I mean, up and down really don't apply. They really don't apply. I mean, it's like the black holes in space. They say things disappear possibly and reappear simultaneously somewhere else. So you really can't talk about things in terms of opposites. Opposites are obsolete.
Well, if that's sort of pinnacle, isn't it a good sign of going back that way?
Well, I don't know. Going back, I don't know what's going back.
De-evolving back into...
I mean, by some sets of values, man is about the lowest thing because he's a mutant ape who is not as suited to his environment as most other organisms are. So by that set of flexibility standards or intelligence in terms of adaptation to the environment, man's not doing too well, is he?
Why was the Ohio verse taken out of the album version of Are We Not Men?
Figured if you didn't know the answer by time of 45 was up.
There were people at Warner Brothers who didn't like Ohio.
Well, apparently Ohio doesn't like you too much. Or
Oh.
That's what I heard. Someone told me they were reading a newspaper account where some paper in Akron would rather that you didn't exist or that you weren't from Akron. How do you react to that? Do you like Akron?
Sour grapes from the start.
Right. You have to understand, when they finally did an article on us, the gist of the article was that we were going to bring new revenue to the area, perhaps. And many of the people there that for revenuers.
And you've all seen Beverly Hillbillies.
How long did you play in Akron before you started venturing to other cities?
I think we played about 3, maybe more, maybe 5.
You?
No, time.
Is it really a good scene going there, or is it a lot of it just because of the Akron sampler album that's blowing it out of proportion?
Yeah, there was really no scene there, and as Alan's quick to point out,
Well, there's about as much talent in Akron as you would find in any other area of that many people.
What influence has Akron had on your music and your ideas?
oh, it's just that good, clean living.
You had a foreign tour.
Yeah, we're leaving for Europe and England on December 8th.
November 15th.
Right, we play Berlin November 17th.
Where are you going to play besides England?
Everywhere. France, Germany, Holland, Switzerland.
Do you see yourself?
You gonna make money on this tour or lose?
No, you lose money. I want that known.
How do you
Start an American tour.
What's that?
When do you start an American tour?
I thought that's what we were doing.
Do you have any musical relation to Ken Mewley and Waitresses, any of those other bands?
Absolutely not.
We bought recording tape.
Influence.
Biggest influence? General Boy.
Nightmare.
Based now.
No, we moved to Los Angeles to be close to Dad, Warner Brothers. We do our own graphics and our own publicity, album design, and all those things related.
Are you going to make some more movies soon?
Yes, as soon as there's sufficient time and money, we have plans. Like being a half-hour TV format spot right now, combinations of live footage combined with General Boy in a newsroom and interviews, much like these. And that's just that'll be out in January. But so far, only Midnight Special has agreed to show 20 minutes of it, but it's going to be sold to European stations in a half-hour format total.
Do you see yourselves as ambassadors of America towards Europe?
I don't think I don't know. I speak only for myself here, but I don't relate to being American. I just think of the position of being a human on the planet.
Ambassadors don't usually tell the truth.
True. Okay, tell us about Boogie Boy. What is he exactly? I mean, we've all heard of Boogie Boy and we've seen him, but...
He'll be here tonight. If there's an encore, he'll be around.
He doesn't like to come out. He's shy.
He's strong.
Where did you go to school? How far did you go and what did you do?
Are you asking us collectively?
Yeah.
Alan, just
Run
run
down,
down.
I completed high school, and that was the extent of my formal education.
High school and 1 week of college.
I went all the way. Before I started my higher learning. No, I did, I got a BFA and then realized what a joke it was.
Where was that?
Kent State.
5 years of graphic design at Kent State.
4 years of special science.
How long have you been playing for?
Well, these 5 people right here have been playing together for 3 years.
I understand that a certain percentage of you at one time had a band called Rockets from the Tomb. Is there any truth in that?
Oh, no, you have that mixed up with parts of Perubu, a Cleveland band.
And the
It's
Dead
out of
Boys.
Mercury Records.
Right, I heard Perubu and parts of you were
No, that's Dead Boys, not Devo.
Dead Boys, not
Yeah. And Dead Boys are more or less kind of like the perfect, diametrically opposed force to Devo.
right.
Are you going to do a third world tour?
We would love to, I don't know. That gets into like just what record companies and everything are all about, because I imagine that involves a certain amount of politics that we have no power over at this point.
Do you just see it as a third sex?
Third sex. No, maybe no sex.
Speaking of record companies, what counts for the difference between your Virgin and Warner Brothers releases? Did you do the design on both of them, or just did Warner or what?
No, we did both. We wanted to. If we'd had time, we would have put different songs for Europe than we did for America, but we only had 3.5 weeks in the studio, and that became impossible, so we did do a different graphic approach for Europe.
How'd you like working with Eno?
It seemed to fit into a degree with Devo. I mean, he's a very monastic person, up at 10 in the morning, brisk walks, always straight, no drugs, and he's lucid. But he's kind of, he's too academic.
How long ago did you hook up with him? And did he find you, or did you go to him?
He actually found us at Max's Kansas City last December. He was there with Robert Fripp, and he saw a set we played.
So Brian Ferry off stage West Cardigans.
Yeah, we met him at the Whiskey and
Mistook him for a member of the record company.
he just kind of looked like a yacht boy.
His new album sounds like it, too.
He got hung up with models and being pretty. Spuds don't have that problem. We've always been hooked up with the potatoes. We just realized it.
How do you feel about drugs? Drug use? How does it fit into deals?
Our bodies don't work on drugs, so we take that into account. We're honest about it. It's not through any great religious principle. It's just...
Does that mean you don't work when you do drugs?
We die. We can't take it.
We're waiting for new drugs that'll do.
We're a drug. We want drugs that find us.
How do you feel about the way people are taking you? Like, very seriously, yet I find a lot of humor in it, but I take it very seriously. And I wonder how you care how people take you. Do you want people to really get serious about the de-evolution, or some people, you take it very jokingly? How do you feel about that?
Well, that has to be left ambiguous. We're indicators. We point things out. I mean, it's like when Duchamp put a urinal in a show, Of course, it can be taken seriously, and it doesn't have to be, and it has many facets built into it. So that's the point. That ambiguity and that nonlinear thing we'd like to be maintained.
Do you consider yourself fairly prolific?
Prolific.
How much do you write?
Yeah, we have, like right now, 45, 48 very usable songs. We have the second album written and most of the third, but that's subject to change. But the point is we have a lot of more material than you've heard, and we definitely didn't blow our wad on the first album. It gets better.
So your music itself does not de-evolutionize, it progresses.
No, I said it gets better.
Do you think your industrial music will be on AM by the 80s or something?
We'd like to see that.
Did you choose Satisfaction as a single, or was that from the Warner album?
Seemed to be by popular mandate.
It seemed that it would be a better idea to pull something original, to get across the type of group that you are. I thought it was a poor choice.
You thought it was a poor choice?
It's still very original.
Oh, I think that Java Homo would have made people aware of more of what you're all about in one single than Satisfaction.
Well, yes. I don't know what to say.
There was already a lot of Java Homos out there anyway.
What music did you listen to in high school?
TV commercials.
We've listened to it all, just as everybody. You know, how can you not hear it all? You have a radio and you hear everything.
No,
We try to get rid of it is what we try to do.
Do you have
Polluting.
stage choreography, or do you have someone do it?
Yeah. It's like choreography and graphic concept and theory. Those words don't apply. Really, they're misleading because, like, if I were to say we did our own choreography, it sounds like we sit around and say, okay, you do like this on every fourth and eighth beat. It's not like that. It's real. Believe it or not, those kind of things happen while we're playing, and somebody laughs at somebody and says, I'll do it too. And it just happens. We try to find a motion that best describes where the center of the song is.
Are you going to have releasing more singles through Stiff?
No.
The third single was what, part of the deal for them handling the first two?
Yeah.
Or did you make a show?
We lose. We used to make money until we signed to a record company.
When you did Saturday night, did you get the idea that the studio audience had any idea who you were and what you were up to?
Most of them didn't. And it was a very abstract procedure in there because you're in a huge open warehouse and you must play very low. And there's no monitors. And what they hear is incredibly weak and terrible. But they liked it. I don't know. You know, I don't know what happened. I think they just responded to the whole thing.
Those people are on a waiting list for a long time, so it's so random what they end up seeing.
And they're really ready to see something when they finally get in.
Well, that night, nothing had been funny or entertaining until we came on.
What was the purpose of your black undersuits on the Saturday night show?
Oh, you know, just stripping out of the shell.
They're cooler than the plastic suits, too.
Is it virtuous or helpful to you somehow to have realized that you're Devo?
Sure. I mean, everybody's constantly, in some way or another, through their activities or their products, putting out their own genetic code. And we do it on purpose. I mean, Ted Nugent's doing it, and he doesn't know it. You know, he's saying, I'm a big spud, and he doesn't even know what he's saying. We became aware of what we were, and instead of being ashamed of it or trying to deny it, we used it.
So you magnified the Devo aspect of yourself.
Yeah.
Do you know your genetic code?
Scientifically, I don't know. You better go over to Bob.
No, we haven't done the necessary test.
We would like to actually take that far, if that's what you're suggesting. This is like, you know, superficial. I mean, if we could have a Recombo DNA lab in our little garage, we'd take it, and I might become an insect or a raccoon boy.
The songs on the album, we've always been newest written.
Let me think.
Would it be Shrivel Up?
Shrivel Up. One of them. I don't know.
A number of them that were written within a week.
Let me explain this. Where we're going hasn't got much to do with that kind of chronology. Those songs are a combination of new and old songs, and the next batch will be like new and old songs, and I don't think you would be able to tell unless somebody told you which came first. I'd kind of defy you to put them in any working order that was accurate.
Who writes most?
We do.
Yeah, different combinations, you know, and it's delineated on the album as to who's contributing what percent. So look for the names: Mark Mothersbaugh, Bob Mothersbaugh, Gerald Casale, Bob Casale, Alan Myers. Put them down on paper and figure out who did what.
Well, if you think de-evolution's the answer, do you think you're ever going to go disco?
Well, wait a minute. De-evolution's not an answer. It's a technique. It's a process. We try to avoid answers. That's what gets people in trouble. Disco is, I don't know, a moot point.
Why is
I'm left-handed. So I'm listening to this side of my brain.
Are you going to be doing a lot of new songs tonight?
We're doing 3 or 4 songs that aren't on the album tonight.
You put a statement on your voice.
Yes, definitely.
Do you consider this your first album? No, we haven't had. Have you recorded before on Stiff, though?
What was on Stiff was we produced our own singles on our own label called Boogie Boy Records, and they distributed them. And there are new versions of those songs on the album, because in America they had never gotten anything but minor underground distribution. And we intend to keep Boogie Boy as a viable label when we can, effectively use it. So if we're successful, we'll sign other people with ideas to Boogie Boy in the interim when record companies ignore them.
In your travels, has there been any other bands like Devo? Or any bands that you would want to see on your label?
Yeah. There are strange people who, would probably never have the aggressiveness to come forward that we've heard that we would like to have, like them to have the chance to put out something they've done.
Would you guys go into production or just put them on your label?
Well, if we signed anyone, we'd like to be involved with them on some level. And we are interested in being producers and engineers as well.
What kind of a deal do you have with Warner Brothers? How long have you had them?
The typical.
Was your Virgin deal independent of your Warner deal, or is it linked to it?
It's linked to it for the purpose of the cooperation between big competing corporations. They have some territories, Warner has most.
But are you essentially giving them both the same product, or will you be doing different things in the future for them?
Mostly simultaneity of release and number of albums that has to remain the same. But within that, there could be differences more than there were, as I was describing before.
How do you like being on colored vinyl?
I can't respond to like or not. I felt it was as dumb to demand that we weren't on colored vinyl as it would be to ask for it.
I got a friend in New York who went out and bought the import and was really angry because he got a black one.
Did you get a black one?
He got a black one.
Well, tell him we're sorry. What's its color?
We'll send him some spray paint.
That's right, he doesn't have a stereo.
You're living in Los Angeles now?
Yeah.
Have you met with the guitarist by the name of Snake Finger yet? Or heard about him? Or heard anything about the Residents?
Yes. Oh, yeah, we know a lot about the Residents.
I know that Snake Finger is also living in Los Angeles. He's working with Residents and wondering if you get a
He lives on the beaches of Malibu, right? Or Venice Beach.
Venice.
He's there.
Venice. Yeah, they pride themselves on remaining artfully obscure.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we were at that place once, but, that becomes kind of masturbatory and irrelevant. It's more interesting and more challenging to bend over the corporate barrel and come out the other side. Assume the position. What?
How do you feel about commercial success in general? I could possibly see 10 years from now Devo being Grateful Dead.
We're already Grateful Dead.
Okay.
No, it's only a byproduct of being relevant to people's needs. I mean, unfortunately, some pretty terrible things have been relevant to people's needs, like John Denver, Sammy Davis Jr. But we weren't, we didn't contrive this to make money. It should be obvious.
Can Devo stay Devo with commercial success?
Yeah, there's no doubt. Because we've always done what we wanted from the beginning, so that at some point it crossed over from having beer bottles thrown at us and being threatened with physical violence to people saying, hey, do you want to sign up to a record label? And nothing's changed, except that we lose money now playing.
Where's General Boy right now?
Pentagon.
Why?
He's waiting to be called up for the next movie. He has a credibility. You'll see, if you haven't seen the movies, we're showing them tonight before the set.
You're going to show all three of them or two of them?
Yeah, yes, all that we've made.
Will Reiss be playing before you?
Apparently. Just for the record, we had nothing to do with it.
Do you generally have opening acts? Because it seems that you're the type of band that shouldn't have anything but yourself and your film.
Glad to hear somebody say that.
I mean, no one could go with you and work well on the same bill.
Well, in club situations and in the present condition we're in, we don't have a whole lot of say over that.
You're going to get knife throws or something.
Hey, wait a minute. No, we'd like to have we'd like to hire some quack professor to lecture before we can. No, I need to do that here. We've been trying to locate the guy, but he lives in some kind of Buddhist monastery now. He wrote, the beginning was the end, knowledge can be eaten. He says we all came from cannibalistic apes, and by eating the brains by these apes eating the brains of other apes, they increased the physical size of their brain disproportionately to the cranium. So the cranium could contain the new physical size of the brain. It created pressure, and the increased amount of protein and hormone in their own brain level increased the sex drive and will for knowledge, and also made them nuts because of the physical pressure against the skull. And and then they started to lose their hair and their tails, and humans are mutant apes, according to this guy, from this cannibalistic strain. Ape, and everything is upside down. Sounds as good as the Bible.
What do you got to fun?
What was his name again? Oscar kissed my art. Just so you don't think I'm kidding. This is it. It's out of print. It's been suppressed. It's called The Beginning Was the End. Knowledge Can Be Eaten. He was a Czechoslovakian anthropologist who now is retreated to a Buddhist monastery.
So what does that say about people who eat potatoes?
Good question. It's probably why potatoes are so much maligned yet so necessary to the diet. Right, they're actually reversing the cannibalistic ape process.
Stop in Ireland. So,
what's that?
Stop in Ireland?
No, we're not going to Ireland.
Have you had any reaction from any Mongoloids about your song?
Yeah. Mongoloids like it. The parents of them don't. And that was the point of the song, I guess. The parents are normal.
I received a radio interview in Hollywood where someone complained about their Mongoloid child singing his song. Night and day.
How does Hollywood feel about you?
Well, they are very devolved, so they just relate to it as entertainment. There's a Hollywood audience in our films. Our first film tonight, Come Back Johnny. It wasn't staged. We just put up posters and they came in, and what you see on film is what they did. And we just filmed what they did.
Where did you get the cowboys for that film?
Well, you know, there's still a little cowboy in all of you.
What's the strangest reaction you ever got to playing a new song? Was there anything people have done to some of your new songs or some of your favorites?
Whenever Boogie Boy sang Words Get Stuck in My Throat at the Starwood, he would take the playpen and put it over his head and crawl through the audience with it like a shell of a turtle. So there'd be this moving playpen. And on 3 different occasions, women offered him their breasts to suck. I don't think he could tell inside. He doesn't differentiate. He just appreciates the nipple.
The 2 songs you did with Patrick Swayze, were they done before you were together or after?
Do you like Andy Warhol's films?
Which one?
Any that you've seen?
I liked Frankenstein and Dracula.
The 3D ones.
I liked Heat.
How about John Waters?
Sure. I mean, when Pink Flamingos came along, it was significant. Have you seen Eraserhead? Who's seen Eraserhead?
No.
Really? I think that's an apt replacement. You know, it's what's necessary now. David Lynch, he's from Los Angeles. It was an AFI film. It's a good film. Really good. The soundtrack on it's amazing.
Do you ever read underground comic books?
I don't. Do you?
I think Alan does.
I think they're degenerate.
Are you guys sci-fi fans or anything? I mean, it seems like you're on the same wavelength or so, you know?
To a degree, I have affinities with a lot of the better stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Most sci-fi is cheap fantasy, just fiction. It's designed to like echo the present political system, you know. I like Brave New World though.
A lot of the same truths in what you're saying and what you see to be that I hear in Oriental philosophy. Are any of you into that?
Not systematically.
Just right. Not something that would become a political party.
We would endorse General Boy if it ever became possible.
Has the evolution given you any kind of a political outlook? Any kind of a special outlook?
Special. Not specified. I mean, I think just the kind of, what we're talking about, process and activity and mutation and synthesis is a political thing in itself. But I mean, parties, Democrats, Republicans, they're all the same.
Remove governmental tribes and put in the corporation.
Do you plan to start your own record label in the Speedwell? Yeah.
Sure, whatever is viable, but I would hate to make ridiculous claims.
How would you respond to Washington Post's allegation that your lyrics are not like cold quarters?
I haven't seen that. That our lyrics are like Cole Porter's?
Not like Cole Porter's.
Not like Cole Porter's.
Playing chords are not like cold quarters.
What does that mean?
It was supposed to be a humorous statement, I think.
Oh,
Some of the lines.
Apparently ignorance is bliss here. I don't. I'm not sure I get it. Maybe we got it. Yeah. It's interesting to find what humans find humorous.
I think Cole Porter was specified quite good lyrics.
Ah.
Sorry.
Well, I wonder if they thought they were good at the time.
Now that you're getting famous, have you lost your privacy? Fans, people are talking to you in the street?
We welcome the loss of privacy. We were real private for a while. We were in our basement, mixing it up for a long time.
What kind of reaction did you get in England when you played?
A good one. I mean, you know, a positive one if that's good.
More positive than here in the States? How do you compare it to, how do you compare over there, over here? Do people seem more responsive to you?
The records of both Java Homo Mongoloid 45 and Satisfaction 45 have charted over in England, you know, on all the major radio stations. And over here, it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Were you still living with your parents when you first started the band? I mean, did you practice
Oh, no.
in their basement?
Do you have parents?
Yes. They were the mechanism by which I came here.
Have they heard any of your records?
Apparently. I mean, I'm talking just now for my parents. I think they have heard the record.
Do they approve of your action?
Well, I think, you know, now that it seems to be making money.
Because you're losing money, right?
Yeah, they don't know that. We were on television. We must be making money. Not bad.
What's the highest form of de-evolution, of the most extreme form of de-evolution you're aware of, apart from yourself?
Apart from ourselves. Extreme. Idi Amin, maybe.
Colonies and
Oh, I don't remember.
What do you do for kicks in your spare time?
Kicks? We don't go to parties, if that's what you mean.
How do you feel about space travel?
I can't wait. I mean, I hope I make it. Looks like it's winding down. Well, then traffic.
If you were the chief genetic engineer for the United States, what kind of changes would you be changing immediately and what kind of long-term?
Well, as Mark mentioned, we would eliminate political parties as the major force of decision-making. And I think we'd try to base it more closely on information.
Well, what kind of genetic changes, though? I mean, what kind
Genetic changes?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not totally against the idea of...
sucker pads for everyone.
Yeah. Fins, sucker pads, clickers, anything anybody wants. I think I could eliminate, personally, I can see eliminating the nuclear family and giving everybody a kind of a straight hand to start out with.
But do you think the package itself is workable? Or...
I don't know. I mean, all we've seen so far is that every time there's a good movie where a guy has a master plan to get people out of their rut, the humans pick up pitchforks and bricks and, you know, manage to destroy it, you know, in favor of individuality. So they all die their individual ways. What?
Fritz Lang,
Yeah, that was a sinister vision of organized energy. Yeah, it was. Well, but that's just human projection, isn't it? In it any other way. People really protect their freedom to be fat and make themselves sick with bad food and cigarettes and buy huge gas-eating cars. You're fighting kind of ingrained tendency.
You seem to have more of a sort of Rick Chinese type philosophy. Have you read any of that, any of that sort of work?
No. But obviously, I mean, if things are going to mutate, there has to be some kind of synthesis of ideas. People are more similar than they are different.
You ever read A.A. Homo? Ancient Homo?
No.
You know how to read?
Unfortunately.
Will you take your glasses off?
What for?
Your beard first.
Good for you. Should we leave now? Okay.
Have you thought of playing any prison?
Isn't that what we're doing tonight?
right now.
Goodbye, thank you. I wanted to